Good morning, friends, and welcome to the pre-market view. US markets were up for the 7th day in a row, and Dow was up about 0.89%. However, Nasdaq was marginally flat. The 10-year bond yields in US is around about 2.89, and the only thing is that in US markets, the entire focus is going to shift to the FOMC policy meet, which is scheduled for next week, where there is going to be some amount of clarity on the tapering that they are looking at doing. Also importantly, Apple stock reacted negatively to the launch of new iPhones in US, and market isn't too excited about the pricing and the possible volume gain that Apple can achieve through the launch of these products. European markets too were up about 0.5 to almost about 1.5%. No major data points from Eurozone, and when we look at the Asian markets today morning, Nikkei is marginally down about 0.35% as the capital goods data that came out of Japan was not up to the mark, and it remains to be seen what kind of additional steps Bank of Japan would take to boost the liquidity in the system. Most of the other Asian markets are marginally up, and when we look at the SGX Nifty also, it's suggesting that we are going to have a flattish kind of a start. And in terms of data, FIs were net buyers in the cash market to the tune of 586 crore. The domestic institutions were sellers to the tune of about 386 crore, and in the index futures, the FIs were sellers to the tune of about 273 crore. Back home, our markets continue to remain extremely strong, and we have closed well above 5900, around 5950 or thereabouts, and we see strength in the broader markets also coming back with some of the laggards like PSU banks, some of the mid-cap names also participating in a major way. And there are a lot of short positions in the market, both in the Nifty futures, Bank Nifty futures, as well as the option writing which has happened. So overall expectation is that the market might consolidate for a couple of days, but the overall bias would continue to be positive. On that note, let me invite Shaival to take us through important F&O cues, data and strategies that we can have in the F&O markets.
Good morning, friends. Let's have a view at derivatives. Friends, the mantra of rise, rise and rise, which market has been following from past 10 days, has led to a sharp recovery in the markets of more than 900 points on Nifty from levels of 5,100 odd on the lower side and till recent high of yesterday above 5,900. Now in yesterday's trade, we have seen that post-lunch market has witnessed a sharp recovery because of the short positions being squared off by the market participant. Talking about the PCR ratio, it has cooled off marginally from 1.35 to 1.33 as the activity on the call side has geared up compared to that of put. And having look at the current option matrix from 5,900 till 6,200 call as well as put option, both have been witnessing an addition. So which has been clearly indicating, yes, the participants are uncertain about like what would be the further step from here on in the market as we have events lined up in coming days. We have been seeing that the implied volatility has been on the continuous rise from past 2 to 3 days, which has been indicating, yes, there would be huge intraday whipsaws which market would be witnessing. And from intraday perspective, friends, as we are trading above VWAP, I know that we are significantly higher from a weekly VWAP of 5550, and the higher range is 6000. We would be revising it on Friday. Our bias for the market is positive, and from intraday perspective, we feel that 6000 on the higher side can be tested in the market. To play the positive bias in the market, we would recommend buying a volatile from intraday perspective by maintaining a stop loss of 63 rupees 70 paisa. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. First of all, India's CPI data for August is likely to be out, and the market expectations is that it's going to be about 9.6%. Also, the industrial production number is likely to be around minus 0.8%. Friends, remember that we've already seen the market run up from about 5,200 or thereabouts to almost about 5,950. So a bit of a disappointment on this consumer price inflation data could have some negative reaction for the banking stock. So watch out for some kind of reaction towards that particular sector. JP Group has finally sold its cement unit in Gujarat to Ultratech Cement. Both the units at Sevagram and the grinding unit at Vanagbori has been sold, and the capacity of both the divisions is about 4.8 million tons. Definitely at this point of time, this is perceived to be positive for Ultratech for the price at which the company has been able to close this deal at about $124 a ton. and for JP, because it was already looking out for some kind of opportunity of liquidating some of its assets, it could be a bit of a positive. So one can expect some positive reaction in the JP stock in today's market. Tech Mahindra's analyst meet was there in Pune yesterday, and some of the key highlights are that the management is very confident of its aspirational target of about $5 billion of revenue for 2015. Remember friends, this is not a guidance that the company has given, but more of a expectations of the management, and the company is aggressively looking out for inorganic initiatives since it has enough balance sheet strength, 3,000 crore of cash and another 3,000 crore of stock, and the merged entity is seriously looking at some of the large contracts in the IT space. So overall, the bias towards the stock is positive, but one is not very sure of what kind of guidance really are we looking at, because since we have already only about 1.5 years to achieve it, the implied growth could be more than 25%, and the management and the market is not too sure of whether the company will be able to achieve this through its organic route. Reliance has entered into some kind of a spat with the oil and gas regulator, and the company's CEO Prasad has already shot off a letter to the secretary saying that some of the decisions which the regulator has taken are arbitrary, random and not fair, particularly regarding the giving up of its KG D6 basin rights to the tune of about 86% is something that the company has definitely not liked, and company doesn't want to surrender the proven fields, as there could be a great opportunity given the better gas pricing that the company may get. So there is some controversy, some issue going on between Reliance and the regulator, which could have some negative implications on the stock of Reliance. IDEA is looking out for the private equity firms to raise funds. That's what some of the sources in the company have indicated. And the proposals of Axis Bank and HCL Technologies to raise its FII limit would be taken up by the FIPB over the next 1 week. And another important development, SEBI has allowed conditional recognition to the MCX SX with tougher norms for 1 more year, and SEBI has definitely taken a serious view of the current happenings of NSCL, and they have tightened norms both for the MCX commodities as well as MCX FX transactions. In terms of stock updates, Cipla could gain from the easier entry norms for the inhalers in USA, and since it has a very strong brand for that product, some of these easier norms could actually help it achieve a good amount of revenue in US markets for the next couple of years. Coming to the stock specific calls, RBI has lifted the restrictions on the purchasing of IDFC by the FIIs. This could be a positive for the company, so one can go long on IDFC with a stop loss of 90.50 and a target of about 97.5. Jyoti Structures, some positive news as Aeon, a JV between Apollo Global Management and ICICI Venture, is investing about $50 million in Jyoti Structures. So one can go long there with a stop loss of 19 and a target of about 21. And ITC, some negative news as the tobacco companies are facing steeper taxes with government as they are planning a series of measures in response to the World Health Organization seeking a 30% reduction in the tobacco prevalence in the country by 2015. So one can go short on ITC with a stop loss of 337 and a target of about 320 to about 312. That's it from all of us friends. Have a great trading session and see you tomorrow at the same time.